Hey guys, Eric here, and I've got Ty with me, and this is our third part in the muscle building series. So now we've talked about beginners for men and women and what kind of muscle changes, weight changes they can expect to see in the first year and so on of their working out. What about for people who are more experienced? So experienced athletes, experienced bodylifters, and powerlifters. What kind of change in their muscle size and weight can they expect to gain if they've already got a head start?
Okay, so this category is going to apply, these numbers I'm going to share with you guys are going to apply to people who have worked out for more than 3 years. Like consistently, like somebody that's already come out of high school or been playing in college for 2 or 3 years with the sports. They've been working out consistently for more than 3 years in their life as an adult, not like during puberty or before puberty,
okay.
But as an adult, they've been working out consistently for 3 years already. You can expect to gain anywhere between 5 to about 12 pounds of muscle a year.
Okay.
Yeah. 5 would be very, very good. Like if you can gain 5 pounds or 6 pounds, like if you've been working out and training hard for 3 years of your professional fight career already, and then we meet and then I train you, if you can gain like 5 to 6, 7 pounds in a year, that would be pretty, to me, that's pretty phenomenal. That's without drugs, that's without supplements, that's just eating and training only.
Okay, now that is solid muscle. Can I expect to see any kind of fluctuation in my weight and in my body fat? Because I know that when a lot of bodybuilders are looking to go through a gaining phase, a gaining cycle, they'll put on extra weight that is fat and water weight, and their size seems to get puffy and they increase, but then the muscle increase is still gradual. Is that right?
You can gain that extra. It's really, really hard to be able to gain a lot of muscle and stay lean at the same time, naturally, without drugs or hormones or anything like that. So because of that, I always, during the fall and the winter, I try to help the clients pack on muscle. And then during the spring and the summer, then we'll focus on getting leaner. So what I'll do is I'll try to pack on like 10 pounds or 12 pounds of muscle on you during the fall and the winter, and then during the spring and the summer.
You want to show it off.
Then, well, yeah, if you're just in it to look good, then yeah, you want to show it off. So that's when you want to go, because you want to flow, you want your body to go in with the cycles of nature's seasons. So during the summertime, it's like the worst time to try to gain 5 or 6 pounds of muscle. It's the absolute worst time, because your body is trying to shed the body fat and trying to stay lean. And then during the winter time, when your body's trying to, store up energy for food in case you starve during the winter or something, your body doesn't know through evolution. It doesn't know that there's a Whole Foods or a grocery store down the street that you can just go get food from. Your body's always in survival mode. So during when the seasons start to change, it goes into that survival mode, and it's trying to convert all. You may be eating the exact same amount of food. It's just that it converts more of it to body fat to store it, right? And then during the spring, it sheds some of it off. So you want to follow the seasons, and when you do that, typically you will typically gain like 2 to 3 to 4 pounds extra on top of what you're trying to gain. So if you tell me you want to gain 5 pounds of muscle, then what I'll do is I'll pack on like 8, 9, 10 pounds of muscle. And then when the spring comes, then we'll work on shedding some of it, and then you'll be left with like 4, 5, 6 pounds of muscle.
Okay, so those numbers are going to fluctuate based on the season, but when you go from point A one full year to point B, then you should expect a total addition.
Yeah, it's total. It's not all going to happen in 1 week.
5 to 12 pounds per year.
Yeah. Okay. So the way that I would measure it is at the end of summer.
Okay, like that would be a good start and a good finish.
Yeah, it would be a good start and a finish. So you start your weight gain cycle like at the beginning, like when school starts in America, or in like around September, October. Usually, I always have it set in my mind that when Halloween comes, that's when we start working on gaining muscle.
Okay, and then that's when it starts to get cold.
Yeah, and then whenever we have daylight savings time, around March, I think it is, right after Halloween, right after Valentine's Day, then that's when my mind starts to go into, trimming mode, to trim off some of the body fat. So that's what I have in mind. So when I start that, I want to know that by the time I finish the summer season, that, you know, like if you start with 150 pounds, that by then you'll be 155 or, you know, just around that 5.
Well, what if, let's just say, for example, I've been reading all the bodybuilding magazines.
Yeah.
And I've been working out for the past 3 years. And, you know, I'm pretty emotionally committed that I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah.
Let's say I come to you then, and I come to somebody who's got a lot more skills and a lot more knowledge in terms of what it takes to put muscle onto a body. Should I expect to put on 30 pounds like I see in the bodybuilding magazines and like they show with the...
No, I'm laughing because that's, out of all the sports that I work in, you know, that's like my least favorite sport to work in, simply because bodybuilding is more of a chemist than it is about training. It's more of about how good are you at mixing and matching drugs, illegal drugs, that matches your body. So if you're more bodybuilding is more of a chemist science versus like personal training or training for strength and speed and muscle gain and things like that. That's more of a mechanical, to me it's more of a mechanical process. It's more, you need like a mechanical engineer mindset, because you have to understand how the human body works, the levers, and how, you know, the body works. But with bodybuilding, in my opinion, there's two things that I don't put a lot of emphasis on that, because I'm not a big fan of using illegal drugs to you know, pump up your body. I mean, that doesn't mean that it's wrong though. That's the way a lot of people, I mean, we'll talk about this more, about drug use more in a different video, but it's just that when you're talking about bodybuilding, it's more of a chemistry. It's more of a chemist science, more so than you're not going to be able to do what regular people do. Like if I train, if you're a bodybuilder and I train you, you're going to be bigger and stronger naturally than the other guys. I know that because I've done that before. But now, when there's drugs involved, in order for you to compete, like for you to show up like in a muscle and fitness magazine, or be on the cover, or for you to show up on a men's health and fitness, and that's not even a bodybuilding magazine, that's just a fitness magazine. If you show up on the cover of any Weeder magazine, or any of those Flex magazines, or Iron Man magazines, you have to be on steroids. There's no ands or buts about it. There's no, like, if you think that somebody's going to be on the cover of those magazines or be in any of those magazines and not be on steroids, then you know you just don't understand how the human body works. But back to what we were talking about with the weight gain, you can gain that much muscle in a year after 3 years, but there's also things that you also have to take into consideration. In your 20s, in your early 20s, there will be like a growth spurt. Like after you finish puberty, there's like a growth spurt. And at that time, if you happen to have been working out, like let's say when you were 15, 16, 17 years old and 18 years old, and then 19 years old, when I meet you, I'm gonna be able to take advantage of that natural growth spurt that your body's going through, because it just finished puberty and now you're an adult. So I'll be able to put on another like maybe 10, 15 pounds of muscle on you, natural.
Okay, and that would be like you're kind of conditioning the body in that phase, because you're being exposed to weight, time under tension, where you've got all this weight on you. Your bones are getting used to the weight.
Exactly.
And if it's in that phase, tell me if I'm right here. If it's in that phase, then your body communicates to your muscles, hey, we need to be stronger to manage all this.
Yeah. So what happens is when you're like training as a 14 or 15-year-old, you may not have finished puberty yet. So because of that, whether you're male or female, you may not have finished yet, even though you've been training for 3 years, and you might say, hey, Ty, I thought you told me that if I finished, you know, if I've been training for 3 years, I should be able to pack on 5, 6, 7 pounds of muscle, and now all of a sudden I just put on 20 pounds of muscle. You must not know what you're talking about. And it's not because I don't know what I'm talking about, it's because when you were trained for those 3 years, your body did not finish puberty yet. You know, the body's priority is to get to its full height first. Its full height, and then when it finishes puberty, then it'll go the other way. It'll expand sideways.
Now, I know that my body didn't fill out
Yeah.
until actually in my late 20s.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say again. In your early 20s, when you finish puberty, whether you're male or female, there's a growth spurt. So you want to take advantage of that. So when like the high school kids that have already been working out in their freshmen, in 3 or 4 years in high school, and then when they come out of high school or during their senior year, when I meet them, now they finally hit puberty and stuff, and they finish puberty. Then their joints are conditioned for training, so I don't have to spend a lot of time conditioning their joints,
preparing the body before they can handle the workload.
Exactly, because then I can start training them heavy, and then they pack on this muscle very, very, very quick. So it's there's going to be a huge growth spurt there, and then towards your late 20s and your early 30s, I don't know exactly what the cycles that the human body goes through, but I know that for some reason your metabolism starts to slow down, and then you have another growth spurt.
Okay, for someone like myself,
yeah,
I've always had a naturally really high metabolism.
Yeah.
I'm what the bodybuilding community would call a hard gainer.
Yeah.
So because I had such an active lifestyle as a younger man,
yeah,
it took a little bit longer. And then nature said, all right, when I reach this late 20s age, my metabolism slows down a little bit, and then it's easier all of a sudden, boom, I have another little spurt.
Yeah. We'll talk about being a hard gainer and the truth about that in a separate video. Okay. But yeah, you are correct. And then when it seems like now that I'm in my early, going on towards my mid 40s here, it seems like there's another growth spurt, but it's not as big as the growth spurt during your 30s and your 20s. Because each growth spurt happens, and it's a little bit less, but it's still there. So for the guys that's in their 40s and stuff, because a lot of times they think that, hey, I'm in my 40s now, I can't gain muscle anymore. And that's not true, because I've trained a lot of guys in their 40s that can gain muscle. The key, again, is just being consistent with your eating and consistent with eating foods that promote muscle gain, and then training consistently in a method that promotes muscle gain.
So your body is never too old to learn.
No.
Thanks, Ty.
Yeah. Your body is based, just by the way, also, your body is based on a use it or lose it philosophy. Even if you're in your 60s and 70s, you can still gain muscle. Mm-hmm. It's just that you won't gain muscle as much as someone that's in their 20s. So each decade that goes by, you can still gain muscle. So don't ever let someone fool you and say that you cannot gain muscle. You can still gain muscle. It's just that the speed in which you gain it is not going to be as quick. Somebody in their 20s, I can pack on 20 pounds of muscle in 3, 4, 5 months. Somebody that's in their 50s, that's going to take me probably a year. So, a year, maybe 2 years. So it's not that it cannot be done, it just takes a little bit longer.
All right, so don't give up and don't stop. So thanks, Ty, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like to share the link with anybody that might find this information useful, we'd appreciate it. We have our website down in the link below. And feel free to leave any suggestions, questions, or comments down below too. Thanks for watching.